In this system, we look at the paradigm of inflow and outflow of all energy. And so in this paradigm, you are a system of processing energy. You take energy in, change it, and put energy out. And that's your system. You take mental energy in, financial energy in, sensation. You take feelings in, and you take food, liquid, air, variety of natural resources, and information, and then you put that out back into the world. And that's your system. Breathing in and breathing out. So all systems are imperfect by nature, but many of them have extraordinarily high levels of waste. And so the system that we're about to explore here is a system of measuring and assessing the energy that you give in and the sustainable well-being that it generates, and the energy that you give out and the sustainable well-being that it generates. And so by becoming more aware of the byproducts of the current system, the goal is to make small, regular changes to both what you take in and what you give out, with the overall goal of creating higher levels of sustainable well-being. So the process is, first of all, to do an audit. You want to do an audit of where the thoughts are coming towards you, because thoughts are viruses, emotions are viruses, food, water, etc. are all viruses. They're coming towards you with a pattern of energy, and they have impact. And if you let them in, if you eat the food that comes towards you, drink the liquids that come towards you, accept the thoughts and beliefs and habits that come forward, then you become infected with those memes, with those viruses. And so the process is to begin by being aware. And the things that you have control over, to whatever degree you have influence, is the timing, the dose, the context, your environment in which you're bringing these things in, and the actual content, the food, liquid, sound, sensation that's coming into your mind through imagination, through dreams, daydreams, goals, media, and being around other people. Emotions are infectious, and so you're taking stock of money that comes into your bank and money that goes out with an inflow-outflow ledger. So every day for at least a week, track the 20% of energy that is most significant. You can track all of it if you wish to do a deeper dive, but using the 80-20 principle, 20% of the energy coming in is going to have 80% of the impact on your heart, mind, and body at a sustainable level. And 20% of the energy that you give out, 20% of the choices that you make, the expenses that you invest in, are going to have 80% of the impact on the quality of your well-being. I think of my dog, for example, and my dog increases my sustainable felt human well-being by about 25%. But my dog accounts for less than 1% of the time and money that I invest. So you can see it's part of that 80-20 principle. It would be more intelligent to give up my TV than it would be to give up my dog, because I spend more money on the TV and more time, but get less enjoyment. So in this sense, an audit of the incoming energy, the outgoing energy, and the yield on a 1 to 10 scale, how much did that yield going in, going out in that process? Now, some of these things you have to be aware of time. For example, if money has a high yield for you because you're in the poverty sector, then getting a little bit more money is likely going to be beneficial. Studies show that in the United States, for example, going to about $70,000, you get a very good return on investment, increasing your income. Now, of course, it's not just about the money, but if you are dependent on yourself for your housing, your food, your medical, your transportation, your clothes, all of that, then you're going to have a sense of scarcity in general if you have less than about 70,000 or less than you need to do that. And going from $100,000 a year to $200,000 or from $200,000 to $400,000, you don't see the return on investment. And so if you're in that category where going from $10,000 a year to $30,000 a year, you're going to see a major improvement. Then investing in something that will help you, whether it's getting a car or buying a laptop that you can do online work with or something like that. It may be painful in the present, but because you're tracking the fact that additional money over time is delivering high levels of well-being, then short-term pain for long-term gratification pays off. So you may have to, understand the formula. For every dollar I'm giving up today, I'm getting 5 within 3 years. And that's going to pay off the discomfort of giving this up today in that investment. So it can be a little bit tricky in some of these things, certain relationships. It takes time and energy to build and invest in the relationship. But once you have a secure, stable attachment with a relationship that has a pattern that brings both of you more sustainable well-being than before the relationship, you're getting dividends and a high return on that investment on a daily basis. So that's, these are intelligent investments to make that yield high growth and high returns over time. Now, in this system, you want to make 3 changes a day and measure the net equation of well-being. So you measure the equation for the day. At the end of the day, overall, how would you rate the day 1 to 10, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially? And your social aspects tie into that. There's people you engage with that lift that energy up. There's people you engage with that pull that energy down. And so, tracking that, doing an audit, which every good business does, daily, weekly, quarterly, yearly, doing an audit of your well-being shows respect. To respect, spectacles from Latin, respect, to keep looking, is honoring your well-being. You are, in many ways, the summation of the systems of inflow and outflow, and to become aware of them as a system, so that by the time you end the system, you have more background clarity about what to choose and why. Now, as with any system, there's an awkwardness because the system itself is imperfect. The analogies are imperfect, the process is imperfect, your measurements are imperfect. It's all fundamentally flawed. It's just less flawed than unconsciously doing the default flawed system that you're already doing on a daily basis, that's already producing the results that you're getting. So when you are ready, when you've made the modifications that you know to make through this audit process, taking a week or longer, then let go of the system. And the most important thing is the next system that you pivot towards.